And it's the day after Christmas, so therefore, I myself am hungover as fuck. And I can hear an echo. What?
That's just how we roll.
Oh my goodness! Thank you again for joining us. We're gonna be talking Wonder Woman in just a second here. Courtney is joining us. Courtney, how are you? You also hungover as fuck?
A little bit. Yeah.
I think we're all a little hungover. Christian, Juno, you guys hungover?
I'm a little bit, but I'm not as bad as I thought I would be. I think the little thing you gave me right before bed helped a lot.
Wait, what did I give you? I don't remember.
You gave me a little bit of the herb.
Did we smoke last night? Holy shit! Did we really?
Wow, you really were brown.
Wow. Yeah, we did, but it helped me a lot.
Oh,
We went
man.
outside and everything.
Okay,
slept
it's
like a
kind of
baby.
coming back to me.
Well,
Wow.
Did Dad
You
smoke
guys
with me?
got into it.
Shit.
yeah. Well, but like I said, it helped. It was a downer, so I slept like a baby even after all the sugar.
I mean, I was at that point where I don't remember going to bed, and then I woke up in bed. I was like, "Cool, that makes sense." Because something happened, right?
Because you had Rasputin on the YouTube, and then you were just asleep at the table.
Yeah, that's about right. That's how most of your Friday nights end.
Rasputin sleeping on the table.
Yeah,
Shit.
Babby with his head down on the table.
It's a really good song.
It is.
Courtney, if you haven't heard Rasputin by Donnie M, great song.
Boney, is it
Beautiful.
Donnie or Boney?
Boney.
Boney M?
Boney.
Boney M.
Yeah. Great song. Anyway,
All right.
let's start this intro. Here we go.
Wait, I gotta start record first.
Yeah,
before
geez,
we do
Babby.
that.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
gun.
I'm just ready to go. Had a little bit of coffee. It's kicking in.
Oh no.
Are we recording?
Yeah, just give it a couple seconds. A little buffer.
Oh, okay, here. 3, 2, 1. We are Was It Good, and we hope your holidays have been very, very good. But we're not here to rate holidays. We're here to discuss Wonder Woman 84. As ours, I'm your host, Ravi, and I'm joined by my brothers, Christian and Arjuna. We're also joined, once again, by Courtney McNerdy to help us break it all down. Courtney, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Sorry we're all a little hungover.
I think
Never apologize for that.
I think for the movie that we're discussing, that's okay.
Ooh, hot take right off the top.
There it is.
Tell us how you really feel. No, don't save it.
I think we should discuss first before we actually review the movie. I think we should discuss how we all watched the movie,
Oh,
right?
that's
Because
fair.
this is a unique thing. We're in a unique time. This movie was obviously supposed to originally come out when, Arjuna?
It was supposed to come out in 2019.
2019.
It was the original release date. And then it was delayed until 2020, or early on, and then it was delayed further because of COVID. And then it was pushed all the way to Christmas, and then it was supposed to still come out in theaters only. And then Warner Brothers earlier this month had their landmark decision to have all of their 2021 slate come out simultaneously on HBO Max and in the movie theaters, which is still having huge repercussions.
Yeah. Courtney, I'm assuming you watched it at home, or did you run to the theaters?
No, I watched it at home.
Nice. So just like us. So I have a question. So I have a question for you. We paused the movie how many times?
3.
4.
Oh, 4. Jay.
4 times. How many times did you pause the movie, or did you watch it straight through as if you were in a theater?
I paused it a couple times. If I'm going to have to watch movies on my couch, I'm going to have the luxuries of pausing and going to the bathroom and getting another drink. And I'm not pretending I'm at the movie theaters and watching it the whole way through.
Nice.
So my big question for everyone is, do we feel that this, being that it was released at home and we could pause, did that change how we consume the movie in the sense of, did it ruin it? Did it make it better? Does that fact have anything on anything?
Yeah, it's tough to say because we had a similar discussion with Tenet, right? I think certain movies, and I think Tenet and Wonder Woman could probably fall into that category, like the big blockbusters. They probably would be a little bit elevated by the movie theater experience because it's a big screen, got the surround sound, and these movies are made, I think, for the exciting, entertaining movie-going experience, like big visuals, big action sequences, like lots of CGI. I think that kind of thing would be elevated by the movie theater experience. But I don't think it would have. I don't think it would drastically change our opinion of the movie. At least I don't think it would for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think the the big action sequences, the big glory shots that you see in the trailers and stuff
Glory shots.
would be, would be amazing on a large screen, and you don't necessarily get that on a smaller screen that isn't up to standards, Ravi. And
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Shout out to Ravage TV.
I'm just saying your TV is it's a little disappointing.
I had a dream, real quick, super side tangent here. I had a dream last night that I bought a 100-inch TV, and when I got it, half the screen was broken, and for some messed up reason, I wouldn't return it. I just started watching content, but half of it was black.
So if Tenet taught us anything, dreams are just us going back in time and being reversed. So it's going to happen in the past.
No.
And then the past will catch up to me.
Correct. You're only halfway through.
Oh, fuck off. But, yeah, watching at home, I don't know. That was interesting, I think, overall.
I think when I go to movie theaters, I'm like one of those excitable people. I sit down. I love it. I love the experience of watching it with the audience. I get so into it. So when I leave the movie theater, I'm hyped up. I'm like, that movie was so good. I give it an A+. Even if it was like mediocre, I feel like I'm on a high, I guess. So I think watching movies in my living room allows me to be so much more critical. And I'm super critical of this movie, as you'll see. So I think maybe seeing it in the theater would have been a much different experience for me because, like I said, I love every movie I see in the theaters at first. And then it takes me a while to kind of, break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we also have a unique setup here because like it's us watching with some other people, so there's almost like a groupthink conversation going on as we're watching the movie.
Right.
And it kind of reminds me of like earlier in quarantine, we watched like the first Quiet Place movie. None of us had seen it, and like that movie was bad, but I was also entertained by the conversation we had during the movie, making fun of it and pointing out all the flaws in it.
Extraction wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's almost, they're very different experiences because you don't necessarily, unless you're an asshole, you don't necessarily have that conversation during the movies.
You don't have to be an asshole, but some people like to just talk during the movie and talk to you about it, like Jared Quaid.
Like our mother.
Like our mother. Yeah. But no,
She's
you're
not watching,
totally
is
right.
she?
You're totally right. Yeah, she might be.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. But you know what? To be honest, though, so Courtney, you're totally right. There is... it's so much easier to turn off your thinking brain in the movie theater experience, right? Because there's only one thing to focus on, and that's the movie. Everything's dark. No one's talking to you unless you're sitting next to your mom or Jared Quay. So it's a lot more. It's a lot easier to laser focus on this movie. But like you said, though, on the reverse, certain movies might benefit from having a little bit of a fun dialogue, and maybe this was one of them. Maybe this was a better movie because we were able to laugh at it sometimes.
The other thing,
cry together.
together, how bad it was.
Yeah.
The other thing that was fascinating too is there was a lot of like all the tech nerds kind of were digging in at HBO Max because HBO Max is a digital platform, hasn't figured out or hasn't rolled out updates to their apps to allow for 4K streaming across the board.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
You had to have specific devices in order to watch it in its full resolution or its beautiful resolution, whatever. Luckily, we had the newer Apple TV 4K, so we were able to see it in a higher res. But there were some folks on certain devices like PlayStation 4 and the older Xbox, they haven't rolled out updates to allow you for 4K.
Well, they should have just gone on PlayStation 5.
I don't know if it works on the PlayStation 5, like if there's even an app.
I will say this, I didn't hear a lot of, I know one concern I had for HBO was, obviously it's on Christmas Day, there's going to be a high demand to watch this, there might be latency issues, streaming issues with the app crashing. That happened a little bit with Game of Thrones, obviously, with the final season. I didn't hear about any major issues of people not being able to watch the movie, so, I mean, props to them, at least in that department.
Well, I mean, the other thing, too, is HBO Max, not everybody has it. I'd love to see numbers in terms of did subscriber count go up. The other thing that they were competing with, obviously, it being Christmas Day, there was NBA games going on. There was also an NFL game going on. So they had some other content to compete with. And, if you look at Twitter in terms of trending, it did Wonder Woman or hashtag WW84 did stay, I believe, in the top 5 the majority of the day. But it definitely got knocked down when certain NBA games kicked in. NFL, actually, I didn't see bump up there at all. Like, I don't think I'm gonna give
It
a
was.
fuck.
I mean, the most noteworthy thing of the NFL game was Alvin Kamara tying an NFL record for most rushing touchdowns in a single game, and the Vikings just absolutely sucking.
Well, sucks to be a Vikings fan. Anywho, one-word impressions, like we like to do on this pod. We're going to run around and, sum up either your viewing experience in one word or sum up the movie in one word. I'm going to kick things off with the most easiest low-hanging fruit, one-word impression, and that's going to be colorful. It was a very colorful movie. The color palette was very 1980s. Big surprise.
1984?
Yes, actually. Specifically in 1984, we as a society had developed a very high, contrasty color. I'm just fucking here at this point. Christian, what would you say your one-word impression is?
Wow. My one-word impression is going to be sunshine. Because during, right after, spoiler alerts, by the way, in case you couldn't guess that, right after Wonder Woman gives up the love of her life, she goes off and basically learns how to fly. And the song they use is from the soundtrack of a great movie called Sunshine, and easily the best part of the movie because of that song. And so that's honestly the most memorable thing to me is that scene. I felt something, and 80% of the reason I felt anything during that scene was because of the song from the movie Sunshine.
Wow, that's
Wow. That was beautiful. Nicely done.
Was it though?
Sure.
I thought that was pretty low-hanging fruit. I really thought you were gonna take that.
I actually forgot that happened. So.
Wow.
Courtney, what would you say your one-word impression is?
Meh.
Ooh,
Meh. Love it.
it should be super meh. No, I was kidding.
Just a solid meh thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I know it sounds cheap, but it's true.
yeah. If there was a word that sums up like a whole range of feelings, it would be that word, right? Like it sums up. It sums up when someone says meh, it's like you don't care enough to bash it. You don't care enough to say anything good about it. It's just meh. I'm guessing that's how you feel.
Plots, villains, meh.
Wait, real quick. Who was Pedro Pascal the villain, or was the idea of what he was doing? What was the villain?
The villain was Pedro Pascal, right?
Right, but like
the villain was
there were two half-assed villains instead of one whole-ass villain. So we had Cheetah, half-assed villain, Pedro Max, half-assed villain.
Right.
Instead of a whole-ass villain.
No, and note to creatives out there. I think here we agree that one whole ass villain is better than two half ass villains.
I honestly
3 half-ass villains is where it's at. It's Spider-Man 3.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I was honestly convinced that, like, as the movie was starting, we were introduced to Kristen Wiig and Cheetah. I thought it was gonna go hardcore, super Spider-Man 3, multiple villains. And I was very, very nervous, and it did pretty much actually happen that way. Just not as many villains. It was just shitty fucking villains. And oh god, so bad, terrible movie.
We got a comment here from a couple comments we have to pull in. Brett Rader, Cheater was the hero. Good old Brett.
He also said the villain was Time.
Right, Time might have been the villain as well. Wrong movie, maybe, I don't know. Sahara, the real villain, was the writer of WW84. A strong contender for the villain. That is true. And Lauren WW, you always have to go full ass villain. Never half-ass it.
That's a reference to Tropic Thunder.
Yes, that is definitely a Tropic Thunder.
Great movie, by the way. We should rewatch.
It's also a Parks and Rec reference.
Is it really? When?
Yeah, Ron. He tells don't half-ass two things, full-ass.
Nice. That's a very Juan Swanson sentiment.
Juan Swanson?
Juan Swanson.
Oh boy.
So I got it's the Boxing Day.
My head really fucking hurts. Arjuna, what's your one-word impression?
I mean, kind of going off of the half-ass villains is themes. I don't think thematically this movie had a very good theme and didn't know what it was. So it was just themes.
Themes?
They tried to kind of shove in this truth theme With a really cool opening scene, by the way, which is like about her childhood, and they did this cool race.
It started
and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I mean, like, oh, what's the point of this again? Oh, truth. Truth.
But they never referenced it again. Like, it was such a great idea. Like, I think that's another theme of this movie is they have such great ideas and, you know, plot points, and they follow through with none of them.
They don't connect them. Yeah.
I mean, it's just bad writing.
Yeah.
Does it, like, we obviously stuck around, you know, watched most of the credits and then zoomed a little fast to see if there's an after credits, and this movie really does not feel connected also to like any DCEU nonsense.
To the Deku?
Granted, the DCEU is a giant clusterfuck of a mess, and this other terrible movie is coming out later next year, whenever the Snyder Cut for Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
Is it March?
Yes,
oh,
March.
Kill me. God, my head really hurts. And I can't tell if it's the hangover or it's just the distaste for this movie. I really got to break that one down. But it didn't feel connected to this larger thing, right? Like it felt very kind of just out there as its own separate, which isn't a bad thing, but you still want to feel, you know, connected.
No, that doesn't bother me because the DCU is a pile of shit. So if it's not connected, that, you know, just make a good movie. That's the first point, because, you know, the first Wonder Woman doesn't necessarily feel like super connected to the DCEU besides the beginning and end of Batman kind of sending the photo, which, you know, is whatever in that movie. But the first one is still at least a competent, good movie. Just make a good movie, and they didn't do that, which is disappointing.
So
how hard can it be? Just make a good movie.
Easy. Come on.
Something is increasingly becoming difficult with Hollywood. So our one-word impression sentence would turn out to be colorful sunshine meh theme. It's a great sentence.
Colorful sunshine meth theme. It's amazing, actually.
That tracks, yeah.
We nailed it.
I think we did it. That's like the best review of a movie ever.
Let's just shut it down. Bye, guys.
Yeah, we're done.
Before we shut it down, though, I think Christian, you kind of already started this off by saying your favorite part or memorable part where you felt something.
Yeah.
My God, feeling something about a movie—that's a weird thing. Was obviously when Wonder Woman learns to fly, which, granted, I thought was a very, very fun, interesting way of doing things. Did anyone else have a part that stuck out? Like, could we say, did anyone else have a favorite part? Is that even possible with this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Courtney, what's your favorite part then?
My favorite part would have been the invisible jet. We got to see Wonder Woman's, you know, invisible jet, which is pretty cool. But again, a great idea, but there was nothing around it. I kind of wanted to learn more about it. You know, but it just, hey, cool, we're invisible now on this jet. And somehow got from the Smithsonian that Steve knows how to fly.
That has jet fuel in it, by the way. That was my biggest issue with that scene. Why the fuck did it have fuel in it?
Sure, this display jet. We're just going to fly it onto the other side of the world. Like, it's whatever.
Through fireworks.
The invisible jet was cool. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of definitely like leaps in logic and even like setup, like writing one is show don't tell, and she tells like, I tried making a coffee cup invisible once. Like, it's a 30-second shot you could have had of her trying to like make a cup of coffee invisible earlier in the movie to just set that up, but they didn't. They just like have her tell you that because it's just kind of thrown in. And there's a lot of that to this movie, honestly. There's just a lot of kind of like leaps in how you're thinking about the movie and what's kind of going on. So yeah.
Did you have a favorite part, Juno?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it. I like that first 10, 15 minutes, the race of the younger Wonder Woman. That whole sequence was fun. It was exciting. It was well done. But like Courtney said, it doesn't really tie back to anything. They kind of like try to have this through line of truth is the thing that always wins out. And it's just it doesn't work though. Like, it's very strange. Like when her aunt pulls her away and she's like, and that's why you always have to be truthful. It's like, what?
It wasn't ever not truthful. Like, it went from this whole truth theme,
Yeah.
whole be careful what you wish for theme, to like, you have, you pay the price theme.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And kind of, and to tie back to our themes within our podcast.
Oh, God.
We talked about the greater DCEU. And the problems with the DCU has always been Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers is it feels like as a studio always kind of interferes with these movies. Patty Jenkins actually even talked about recently in an interview that the biggest complaint for the first Wonder Woman movie is that last third when Professor Lupin is revealed to be Ares and there's this big gross CGI battle, and that's easily, for me at least, the worst part of that movie. And she talked about how that was a lot of studio interference. And it feels like some of the half-baked themes and stuff is once again just like studio interference. Like you have to have Cheetah as a villain, you have to have Maxwell Lord as a villain, and that's just the way it feels. It feels gross. It's like you can't just get a competent, logical movie. It's like, okay, you're gonna have to have X, Y, and Z set piece because that's the way we're gonna do it. And we're gonna film in this country because we have these tax credits with these places, and we want this amount of toys, and we want this art, like the gold armor, for example, right? Why did they Why did they have the gold armor? Because they wanted, it was good promotional imagery, and it was good way to sell toys and have a new version of Wonder Woman. It doesn't. Right.
I have this one.
Yep.
I now want one where she has the gold eagle armor.
Yeah.
So they got me. The movie was trash. I still want the Funko of the gold armor.
Exactly. And what did the armor do? It got ripped up by a cat.
Being a powerful cat.
Nothing. It was another great idea that went
nowhere.
Yeah.
But there was the somewhat after credit scene where the OG Wonder Woman from the 1970s series. It's very clear she's supposed to be the original wearer.
Asteria.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Because they even credit her in the credits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone, because I'll be honest, I'm not super up to date with my Wonder Woman comic book lore knowledge. Is that character is she relevant, or is that a brand new character?
No, I think she's the one. They talked about her in the movie, and she was the one that was in the comic books too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are they setting something up with her?
I don't think so. I think it's more of just a fun fan service of here, we want to get the original actress who was the OG kind of Wonder Woman on screen as a way to give a nod to her, and then oh, she's this character, and then if they ever wanted to do anything potentially with her later down the line, they could, and if not, it's just a fun Easter egg. It's a fun nod. That's why you put it after the credits, right? It's something that could be a setup, but also could be fun.
I guess the question we should ask is this, right? With Marvel, with every movie that comes out, we know somehow it ties to the greater storyline. Do we get that sense with the DC movies that are coming out? Do we think they're building towards something? Because I don't get that sense.
No, the only one was Shazam at the end where Superman showed up. That's I feel like that's the only tie-in we really had with this new DCEU is maybe that'll happen. And then maybe there'll be something with Black Adam because he's the original
Shazam guy.
Yeah.
So there's only possibilities, but are they going to do anything with it? Or are there too many cooks in the kitchen with Warner Brothers, like you were saying? Are they going to be able to follow through? Probably not. So,
yeah.
They've already done the classic pivot at least 3 times, right? You had Schneider's original conception of what the beginning of the DCU was. He's even talked about it. He wanted to basically do the opposite of the MCU. He wanted to start out with the big team ups and then go to the smaller movies. Halfway through, when Batman v Superman came out to negative reviews, they completely scrapped that whole idea. Right, because Justice League was supposed to be 2 parts at that point. Then it went down to 1 part. Then he, obviously had to leave the movie because of some personal reasons. Then Joss Whedon came in and kind of did whatever that was. and then after the negativity of Justice League, Warner Brothers was like, okay, everyone, just do your own movie, do your own thing. We'll figure it out later. We'll push it to 2020. Then COVID happened.
Because obviously, DC, Warner Brothers, they've also got the CW, and they had that cluster thing that Arjuna loves to death.
I think Courtney loves it too.
That is not a cluster thing. I love the CW. Okay, those shows are the best thing about DC right now.
Are those TV writers and producers talking to the studio, or are they, once again, everyone's just doing their own fucking thing?
I think they did one cute little thing in The Flash where they had the movie Flash come in to the show, and it was like, "Who are you?" Like the fucking Spider-Man pointing at him. Dumb. It was like this half-ass attempt to be like, "Don't worry, guys, we know what we're doing. It's all connected somehow."
I think Warner Brothers and DC has the same problem Marvel did when they kind of had the division between studios and television, where you had all these television shows that were kind of adjacent to the MCU but didn't necessarily connect. And I think that's just on a larger level for DC because, like, you have these movies, and, like, even though Zack Snyder was a producer on Wonder Woman in 1984, did it feel connected to any of the previous, the whole DCEU? No.
I will say this, though. It did feel connected in how poor the CGI was.
Yeah, I will say.
They've nailed that. The shitty CGI, like, bravo. It all looks like shit.
I
Every single time.
one issue with the CGI. I only had one issue, and it was when she turned into that weird cat-like creature, and she was jumping around. That was the only real problem that I had with the CGI.
Which one's better? Do you think Kristen Wiig as Cheetah or is Kat's better? Which one did the cat thing better?
Oh boy.
We found the missing cat. I think this was slightly better because it was less creepy.
Yeah.
But
Cass is bad.
I will say the other CGI thing that bothered me was actually in that opening scene where they have the wide shots of the people in the crowds. They're like waving flags or something, and it looked like that 16-bit type of flag from like an old school video game where it just moves like 1, 2. Like it looked really bad. Like I kept catching it in the corner of my eye while like you're trying to look at the middle of like the big arena, and you just see this kind of edging, and it was horrible.
That's hilarious. Like a 16-bit flag?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like
You don't carry a 16-bit flag around.
We should find that, and we should memify it.
But you guys know like the old school video games. Like if you go back to Doom, Doom,
of course.
right? Like an animation is just like it's either like the full flag or it's just like flat.
It's blocky.
And that's what it looked like. That's literally what it looked like to me. Maybe I'm crazy.
You are crazy.
You are, but you might be right too.
I'm going to say in terms of favorite part, my favorite part of the entire experience would probably be the ability to pause and get another drink. That was my favorite part of Wonder Woman 1984.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah. Because, if we were like in a theater, like ArcLight does it, they sell a booze. I would have to just get up, go and get like another beer or drink or whatever. I'd miss parts of this terrible movie. While at home, I can torture myself, drink excessively more, and not miss a moment.
But don't you wish you had missed parts of this movie?
Yes, I do.
You guys hate it. See, I just thought it was meh. You guys are like...
No, so that's the thing, right? I didn't hate it, but I can also recognize that I might have been... if I had seen this in theaters, I would have been disappointed, I think. More so than because I saw it at home. So it's like I didn't have to pay for an Uber. I didn't have to waste money on popcorn and the beer, right? We had all that free stuff right here in our kitchen.
It wasn't free, Christian.
Right.
It wasn't free.
You're right. It wasn't free. But it was not over.
It wasn't overpriced.
It wasn't marked up, right?
Yeah. I will say expectations I also feel like for this movie were raised because it was being released on Christmas Day. It had been a long wait. We haven't had many blockbuster movies come out this year. And I think if you take it in the context of like the superhero movie genre,
right.
It's kind of like, it's okay. It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
There's certainly very bad superhero movies out there.
Right.
And it's certainly not the best. Like, there's certainly much better superhero movies out there. It's just kind of, like, mediocre.
Yeah.
But I think because of the raised stakes of being released on Christmas, just there being a long wait in between a lot of superhero movies.
It's also one of the only blockbuster movies that's come out this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that hurt.
Wonder Woman.
Right.
It's like their tentpole. It's Wonder Woman. And the first one, I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I know people criticize the shit out of it, and that's fine. But I liked it, so I had high expectations for this, and it was just disappointing.
Yeah, it fell flat. But, yeah, I don't know.
In terms of, obviously, we had a great cast. Like, we had some really strong performance. Well, I want to say they were strong, but we had some performances.
Yeah.
There were
We had a
performances.
great cast. We had some good actors.
Acting was done. We can
was
say
done.
that. We can say that. The one that I thought was kind of interesting is Pedro Pascal. And I bring up Pedro Pascal because obviously he is most well known for probably as the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
And that amazing and great, wonderful season had just wrapped about a week ago. Yeah, a week ago.
Yeah.
And obviously he did this performance before
Season 2 of Mandalorian.
Before season 2 of Mandalorian. In terms of how people view his performance, do we think that his performance was more highly critiqued because of the Mandalorian, or would it have kind of seen the same kind of criticism critique regardless of the Mandalorian? Because obviously this movie would have come out well before season 2 of Mando. Obviously it came out right after Mando.
So are you asking then, like, if this came out when it was supposed to, do we look at his acting in Mandalorian season 2 differently because we would have seen him as he is in Wonder Woman?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
It's two different characters. I would say his performance in Mandalorian is great, and his performance in Wonder Woman, like every other actor in this movie, was like okay, right? I sort of enjoyed Pedro Pascal's performance because it was so weird. Like he comes across as like this really creepy guy in the beginning, and then he has like some of these moments with his son, which were like a little weird, but also like, oh, he's trying kind of. And then this mad lust for power all of a sudden, and then reuniting with his son, which by the way, strong Grogu Mando vibes, right? Like he spends all Mandalorian. Well, it just in the way that he cares for his kid, I guess. I don't know, and he's flawed. Both the Mando and Pedro Pascal, Maxwell.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Maxwell Lord, but they kept calling him Max Lord in this movie.
Oh, you shorten Maxwell to
I
Max.
like it.
That makes sense.
That made me hate the movie.
So at least every time that kid came on, I'm like, this is DC's version of Grogu. I know that's not what it is. I know that. But
speaking of the kid just felt like a setup for like Wonder Woman 3. Like when I kept seeing the kid, it was just like, this kid will be the villain in Wonder Woman 3. Like this is his origin story. Then he's gonna hate Wonder Woman for some reason because like his dad will die or be imprisoned because of Wonder Woman.
It sounds like he got away scotch-free. Say it one more time.
That would have been better than what they actually did.
Correct.
And let's actually talk about the villain real quick. So like Pedro's character obviously, somehow takes over the country, obviously with his special magical power.
He's a genie.
Does he seems like he got away like scotch-free. Like there's no repercussions for him. Like he almost destroyed the entire world, and he was basically allowed to. It's okay, whatever. Bye.
It's called
go on
it's
with
called
everything.
bad writing. They just don't know how to. They're just like, make it up yourselves. Like we don't really want to wrap it up for you.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, we don't actually know what happens after he reunites.
We don't know what
with his son,
happens
right?
to him. We don't know what happens to Cheetah. We like they're
Are they
just
still
like,
running around?
They're just like,
I don't think we're supposed to know what happens with Cheetah because we don't know if she renounced her wish. We don't know if she renounced her wish and turned back into human, or now has the ability to go back between her feline state as an apex predator and human. So maybe that's kind of setting her up to be the next villain.
Yeah.
So maybe the villain of this movie was Maxwell Lord.
it gives the studio options.
Yeah,
Now they have options for the future.
So. I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's my sentiments exactly that one.
So Arjuna, there was a theory floating around after or yesterday, I guess it was from IGN or
Yeah, I saw it on IGN.
And the theory goes that Max Lord's ending wishes is basically what creates the metahumans, such as Cheetah. Does that make sense? Do we think?
I don't care.
I'm still confused by this. Maybe I shouldn't harp on this, but the whole wish thing is confusing. Wasn't there a line saying everyone had to renounce their wish?
Right, because the
in order
source
for-
wish was broken.
So then how do you fix things if certain people didn't give up their wishes?
So-
also, it's not believable at all that all billion people who made a wish would renounce their. You can't get all of them to do it.
So here is my confusing point too. Max Lord renounces his wish.
Right.
which is
Oh,
to
maybe that's
be
enough?
the Hope Stone or whatever the fuck it's
The
called.
dream
The-
stone. One of Thanos'
the MacGuffin,
gloves,
the MacGuffin thing.
The MacGuffin thing. There you go.
And I thought when he did that renounced everyone's wishes because you could no longer wish through him. And
That makes sense.
maybe.
people were also doing it, but it's not, again, like many things in this movie, it's not clear.
Yeah.
And they're just setting it up for options for the next.
Now we have
movie.
meta.
And then the bigger problem, I think the biggest problem is, this is a global scale event, right?
Yes.
And what, nobody mentions it in the future? Like,
I mean, there's your continued disconnect.
oh boy.
But to be fair, superhero movies have this issue all the time, right? Like you see this in the MCU as well. Like there's all of these solo movies and team up movies, and there's always the end of the world event, right? Because you always have a superpowered being, and you need like a superpowered event almost. And it's like it's just hard to always have it connect naturally.
At least in Marvel, they reference them though. They reference
somewhat, yeah.
specific events like, oh, remember New York, or remember when that weird thing happened in the desert. So at least they acknowledge it happened. But how are they going to move forward? Like in all the recent DC movies, they've never talked about the wishes incident.
But maybe
Right.
it's another universe.
Nope.
And multiverse.
Right.
No,
I mean,
that's what I was thinking too, to be completely honest with you. I was like, how does this one world turn into the one that we've seen? And maybe it's a multiverse.
yeah. Or maybe there'll be another movie. Maybe it'll be Wonder Woman 1990, and that'll be about short-term memory loss or long-term memory loss.
Well, I mean, they are
and
doing
everyone in the world forgets.
the Flash movie is still supposed to be Flashpoint, and so I think Warner Brothers is just gonna kind of explain away all the continuity errors with Flash.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, reset.
That'd be great. They literally just retcon every single DC movie. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It never happened. Here's our new universe.
I mean, that's how they're gonna explain their 800 versions of Batman just running around.
Also, like the 10 Jokers.
yeah, that's fine.
That's how they're explaining
DC.
the Schneider cut,
Oh,
right? Like it's
yeah.
supposed to be another version, another multiverse, which is
And that's how they're explaining Spider-Man too.
yeah.
Well, that's how they're explaining Spider-Man as well in Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man.
multiverse is the new 2020s
Yeah,
phrase, I
yeah.
guess. You're gonna watch like there's the new Matrix coming out soon. That's probably gonna have a reference to the fucking multiverse. Every science fiction
Neoverse.
movie is gonna have a multiverse now.
we do have a question.
They're all going to connect somehow.
Yeah. Do you have a quick question here from Big Shaka? Isn't Flashpoint supposed to join everything? Now you guys need to answer this because I'm still a little bit
Yeah,
lost
I
on
mean that's
Flashpoint.
part of like what they did. They kind of the original Flashpoint arc, I believe, was released in 2011.
Yeah.
And it was just a way to kind of show a lot of cool different things, like Thomas Wayne as Batman, and the Joker being Martha Wayne, and et cetera, and it kind of combined, DC. There's always these big events in comics because the comics, like the movies, have messy continuity sometimes.
You're right.
And it's a way. It was just another way to, yes, like you said, to try and combine some universes and some plot
It's
points into one
I see. It's
coherent world.
It's like a story element to create a literal what if
Kind of.
universe.
So DC did agree. So when it came out, they also came out with an animated movie, and that launched their DCAU, so the DC animated universe, which was about I think like 11 or 12 films, and it included like really cool arcs about like Teen Titans versus the Justice League, Batman, like the Bat Family or whatever it's called, where he gets his son Damian Wayne. And it ended really, really well. Like it had a nice, it was kind of like one of those endings where you kind of decide what
It was
happens.
bittersweet.
But like it was gory and violent, and
Oh,
it was
God.
like it's probably the only thing in terms of film or TV that DC's done that I look at it as a whole piece and I'm like, good job. Like you did a solid, cool thing.
Season 2 of Arrow's good.
No, it's not.
Actually, real
Season
quick.
2 with Deathstroke? Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, because of Deathstroke.
Yeah, real quick. Courtney, have you seen the DCAU movies, like the animated ones?
No.
Okay. 'Cause I want to. Yeah. Because I'm wondering about this because a lot of people have this. A big shocker again. I love the DCAU. Real quick, you don't have to go on a big tangent, but where would you rank that in terms of the superhero media that you've seen in terms of movies, TV shows? Where would you rank
I
it?
personally like the DCAU more than Marvel.
Okay.
And I like that because it feels more realistic in terms of what human beings would do in certain situations. And it also, because it is a alternative history to the DC comics,
Yeah.
you know, you have characters that die and then stay fucking dead.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Which is
refreshing.
great.
That's refreshing.
So
No Dragon Balls to bring them back?
no Dragon Balls to bring them back. No like, you know, fake outs like with Chewbacca. Like they actually stay fucking dead, which is great.
Man, that must be a nice thing to see.
Yeah, and then like as Big Shocker said, there's actual continuity too that like makes sense.
Yeah. And consequences?
Continuity
yeah.
is just there until they can throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, until they like realize, hey, we can make something cool in terms of a toy or
yeah. Continuity and consequences those are two nice C words for, you know, movies and shows.
Craft.
Crap. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
In terms of, okay, we talk about theories here. Courtney, we always like to have a hot take. I think we've had a crap ton already, but is there any hot takes that you personally have? Can be about the movie, can be about experience, can be about any of the actors or actresses, could be about the studio. We love hot takes on studios because they're evil.
I work for a studio, so they're not all very much.
All
I
evil.
said what I said.
So my hot take, I thought Pedro was great. I thought if they had made him more of the villain and kind of focused more on him, it would have been good. I think seeing him in Mandalorian and then seeing him in this shows that he can play like the fatherly figure to someone that's not his actual child better than he can play a fatherly figure to his actual child. He played that like manic, you know, guy that started from nothing so well, and I wish they kind of focused on that more rather than like a 2-minute, not even 2-minute, 1-minute flashback of like him coming up from the streets to where he is. So I thought he did a really good job, and I wish they focused on him more because I thought his acting was great.
Nice.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
One of the comments from Twitch, they need to explain all the backstory of the stone and why he knew about it. That, I think, would have been nice. Like, do we get an idea as to why he knew about it? He just knew about it.
He
He
just
just
Reasons.
was like,
Plot
notes and
device.
stuff, right? He had like information on it, which they found in his office. But yeah, how did he even know it existed in the first place?
Yeah.
I did think when he was going to Egypt, when he went to Egypt, I did think we were gonna get like a Hawkman appearance.
Yeah, you said that at one point.
Because that would have kind of, I think, that would have partly helped explain why he knew about this ancient stone. Because obviously Hawkman is a character in the DC that has ancient Egyptian history because of that. Can't remember the damn planet that they originally come from.
Hawk Planet.
Hawk Planet. There you go. How did I miss that one?
Oh, well, speaking of the stone, one fun thing I think we could do is, what would your wish have been? if you were asked for one wish.
One wish?
Yeah, if in the same situation and you had a magical Pedro Pascal genie come and hold your hands and be like, "Tell me what your wish is."
Yeah.
What would
What
it
I
be?
wish. Dang.
Interesting. I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh.
Do we know like what the consequences are?
No,
Yeah, that's a good
no.
point. Yeah.
You're just asked by Pedro Pascal what your wish would be.
Yeah, and he doesn't explain, of course, that there is a cost. You don't
Yeah.
know that there's a
Nope.
cost. So
You just-
it's just like
ask.
it's just you're just asking simply, if you could have anything in the world, what would it be?
Yeah. What would your wish be?
I guess mine, just in this moment, would be pretty basic. It would just be like to be able to fly. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
That's a
very
good
basic.
wish, yeah.
Very basic. Yeah. Are you when you know when you have lucid dreams?
Yeah.
Every now and then you get lucid. I end up flying in all of them. I'm just like if I'm having a nightmare, I get lucid and then I can just fly away. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes. And then also if I'm just like walking around and I become lucid, I'm like, might as well fly, and I just fly. So
Flying would be pretty
yeah,
cool.
flying is.
I think in this moment it would be to cure this hangover.
Not COVID.
Nope.
You selfish.
This hangover is literally killing me.
Oh, actually, no.
I really wish my head would
You
stop
would wish
hurting.
for no more hangovers ever again.
Yes,
So you
I
could
would
drink
wish
as much
to
as
be
you want.
cured
That's
of
great.
hangovers.
That's
But then I think the repercussion would be alcohol would be like banned or like it would not exist. So
Wait,
then I
why?
couldn't get drunk ever. So
Why? You would just help the sales. They would ban it. Oh, I see what you're saying.
the consequence of like so you don't want to ever have a hangover?
Yeah.
Cool, alcohol doesn't exist.
Yeah, I thought
That
for a second,
sounds terrible.
I thought for a second you meant that like the liquor company's like, people can't get hungover anymore. There's no point in making alcohol.
But then
And they stop.
But then I think like humanity, we would be in space in like a year. We would colonize
If
everything.
you got rid of alcohol,
Yes.
we'd be in space in a year. That's incredible.
So-
that is a take.
I think doing it that way, like my wish would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, we would have beat
You're
COVID
welcome.
by now. Yeah, you're right.
Courtney, what would your one wish be?
I'm gonna make you feel like an ass right now. I would rid the world of diseases and illnesses and viruses.
That would be.
I mean, I guess that's
A wonderful
that's kind of
thing.
similar to mine because isn't
What?
like alcoholism? That's considered a disease, I think.
No, you're talking about hangovers.
Yeah,
Hangovers
exactly.
are your fault.
Yeah,
Damn.
correct.
Damn.
Correct. And there are things you could do to mitigate those, like yourself, right?
Ooh, mitigate. We're getting a big word today.
Like,
Is there
And
really that
don't-
big of a word? No. Oh man.
For you though, it is.
Oh really? Oh God.
Arjuna, what about you?
I guess I'm wishing for a bigger brain because
as Courtney has the the good one, getting rid of COVID. Krishna has the superhero power, and you have the selfish one. I'm gonna go with. I would wish for a good sequel to Wonder Woman.
Oh wow, that just seems like a cop out.
Yeah, that's
Lame.
and kind of a waste.
yeah. What a waste! What a waste! Yeah.
What a
Well,
waste.
you could have saved the DCEU. You were like, no, just Wonder Woman, the sequel.
I don't think a wish could save the DCEU.
It's too big.
you don't know. So
too big of a
no.
job.
So the consequence of making that wish of saving the DCEU is the execs would be like, pack it in. We're done. No more DC movies ever again.
Warner Brothers bought by Marvel and Disney.
There you go. But speaking of sequels, is there any plans in the works for a third Wonder Woman film, or is the next time we see Wonder Woman in a team-up film, obviously not the Zack Snyder cut, but another type?
I think Patty and Gal said they had discussions of what a third movie would be. There's the desire now to bring Wonder Woman into present day. So it sounds
You
like
want to do the '90s first?
it sounds like there is an idea. Now the question will really become if Warner Brothers wants to wait on Patty Jenkins, a director. Her plate is currently full, however, because she will be working on Cleopatra, and then she'll be working on the Rogue Squadron movie as
So
well.
excited.
So she has to do both of those first before she even starts on a third Wonder Woman movie. So a third Wonder Woman movie, if it comes out with Patty Jenkins attached, could be a long time, like 5 years, I would say, away.
Oh wow.
What is Cleopatra? Like the historical figure, or
Yes.
is that a superhero?
No,
thing?
no,
Oh, okay.
it's a historical
Gotcha.
figure. There's actually a lot of controversy around it because Gal Gadot has been cast as Cleopatra.
Oh.
There's a lot of casting backlash to that, and then Gal Gadot kind of came out and said, "This is the movie I want to make, and if you want something different, make your own Cleopatra movie."
It's fair enough.
Not wrong.
Yeah, fair.
So basically, Cleopatra will be Wonder Woman 3.
oh, there we go.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Cleopatra, that sounds exciting because Cleopatra is fascinating
Character,
figure.
or,
So
yeah, individual, yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do with that. That'd be fun. And Rogue Squadron.
Oh,
my
God, that's gonna be so good.
Well, obviously we'll wait for the details to come out, but
Should I start
fantastic.
building my hype the same way I built my hype around Rogue
No.
One?
No,
And then
no,
after
no,
I
no.
see it, walk out into the rain and start crying?
I mean, you could do that, but that sounds like
Actually,
a painful thing.
Wonder Woman 84 should worry you about the Rogue Squadron movie because it's Patty
Yeah.
Jenkins who's attached to it. And, like Kristen Wiig was her number one choice for Cheetah. And I feel we really haven't touched on that, but it was not a great, there was a disconnect there in terms of like Kristen Wiig as a comedian trying to be this villain character. So that type of choice from Patty Jenkins worries me a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I think Patty Jenkins is a good director. Like, I think
Agreed.
she's made some really good stuff in the past. I would say that Wonder Woman suffers, like you said at the top, the studio.
The studios, for sure.
And the nice thing, I mean, Star Wars has, dear God, its own studio problems. But I think they are learning to kind of let the directors do what they need to do and not be so kind of hands-on. So I have hope that they'll let her do what she needs to do with Rogue Squadron, and not do a Rogue One type thing again.
So what
Ever.
if she casts Kristen Wiig?
I probably won't bother seeing it then.
What? Why?
I mean, that might be interesting. I mean, if she
Yeah,
pays like
that could be-
a
that could be
comedic
fun. Yeah.
fighter pilot, then yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, people thought Cheetah would be cool as Kristen Wiig, but it wasn't.
Man.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know much about the DC comic book thing, so Cheetah, still goes over my head. But yeah, it did feel a little bit strange. I liked Kristen Wiig's character when we first see her. I liked that she was like this, like smart but introverted, nerdy young woman, and then the transformation into
0 to 180 very fast.
into Cheetah, it felt a little bit like I understood like where she was coming from, but it just happened so fast. She was going leaps and bounds into going from that to beating up this guy, and then I want to be the very, very best.
It's the classic comic book movie issue, right? Like you just have all of these competing ideas that are trying to get screen time, and like if that was going to be the movie, that should have been the focus of the movie, right? Her growing jealousy of Diana, and like her basically becoming the opposite of what Wonder Woman is, right? Or if you wanted to focus on Maxwell, that should have been the focus of the film. But trying to have all of these plots, by the way, like her long lost love Steve is also alive, and you're doing invisible jets and all that other stuff.
We haven't talked about that at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
We didn't even touch upon that. Like,
Chris Pine.
Trevor's back from the dead, and he doesn't remember being gone for so many years, and he's in the body of this dude.
Yeah, and also.
It's just so weird.
It's
Yeah.
really
So-
creepy.
And also, I think it's literally 50% of the movie is Chris Pine wandering around, just looking like a child.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Well, it's the
I've never
inverse.
seen
It's
this.
the inverse of the first movie,
I
right?
know,
It's
I know.
the same way Wonder Woman, Diana was a fish out of water, kind of experiencing
In the first one.
the world, right, outside of the Amazonian land.
Themyscira.
Right. It was kind of hit. Now Chris Pine's turn to do that.
Yeah, I guess so. But again though, and that might have worked if that was the the whole
Yeah.
most word if that was the focus point. But instead,
I honestly
half-assed.
thought
Half-assed.
the person that he took over that person's body was like a descendant or something, or like a great nephew or whatever. But no,
They
just
didn't
some
go that
random.
route. They didn't go that route. Yeah.
Just some
So
random.
apparently, I was reading, and this wasn't, I feel like, clearly established in the movie. Like that's her neighbor in her apartment complex or something. Like when I was reading some reviews, like that's what they referred to the guy as, like her neighbor.
Oh, on IMDb, he's credited as handsome man.
Yeah, but so it's very strange, very very strange.
When I was putting down the casting thing, I was like, "Oh, look, there's the guy who plays
Handsome
handsome man."
And I guess, did they make it seem like his life was pathetic so we didn't feel bad that
Right.
Steve was inhabiting his body? Because he was like sleeping on a futon and eating canned cheese. Like,
I mean, I eat canned cheese.
Right. Yeah.
like
Yeah, we had an interesting comment earlier from Big Shaka. Wonder Woman was the villain because
no.
she took advantage of the guy's body who Chris Pine took over. The guy had zero consent technically, so what happened to his consciousness when Chris Pine took over? Did he die? Did he? Of
Who
course.
cares?
They didn't
Who cares?
explain it. It doesn't matter. He was a loser. Like
Does it
Courtney
matter?
said. He was a loser.
Nothing matters.
No one cares. He had terrible
I want
fashion
to
sense.
focus on that because he was a loser. Nobody who sleeps on a futon.
I mean, that's such a to like classify a person as a loser. Like the two big things is sleep on a futon and then canned cheese.
Yeah.
Now I'll never look
That's
at
what
canned
we
cheese again.
focused on. Yeah.
That's what the movie focused on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different for us, maybe. And also not the 80s. The 80s. Who knows?
I know I wasn't around then.
Yeah.
What?
I wasn't around in the 80s. I don't think. Was I?
You
No.
were born in 1989.
Yeah, the last 2 months of it.
Yeah, but you're still around.
Yeah, but I wasn't conscious.
What is consciousness?
Oh, and we're not having this conversation here. All right, folks. I think it's that time where we answer the question. Was it good?
Yeah.
Tenet was not good.
Tenet was absolute shit.
Wow.
Don't get me started about that pile of
There's-
smoking crap.
There's a hot take.
Courtney, was Wonder Woman 84 good?
No. Like, I don't want to say no because I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
I wanted it to be so good, and I had such high expectations, but no, it wasn't good. All right, Krishna, was it good?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good.
The old
There
fake
were-
out.
and I think Courtney said it earlier. There are legitimately like some good moments,
Yeah.
but they're so far and few between. There's no connection. There's no thread that connects all of the
Here's a hot
themes
take.
together.
The trailer is better than the movie.
Oh my God! Wait, we didn't even talk about this. The trailer had a great cover of my favorite
Blue
song,
Monday.
"Blue Monday," and that by far is the best thing that this
the
movie
movie.
produced.
That's fair.
Was that cover?
Trailer was fantastic, and I'm starting to think like really good superhero movie trailers equal bad superhero movies.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
Yeah,
I look
'cause
up
they're all good.
Marvel movies, and I get so freaking hyped for those Marvel movies, and they deliver.
Yeah,
Come on.
like I'm pretty sure the Logan trailer was incredible. I don't remember
The Logan
it, but I'm
trailer
sure
was
it
pretty
was.
good.
I'm
It
sure
was
the
pretty
Days
good.
of Future Past trailer was
That was pretty good,
amazing,
too.
right?
But like Civil War trailer was really good, and the movie was
The trailers are all good. I think they've nailed they've got the trailer formula down. These big studios they
Ant-Man
know how to
trailer
deliver
wasn't
on their trailer. It's an art form.
Ant-Man trailer wasn't good.
I mean, Ant-Man wasn't the first Ant-Man's not a stellar movie.
Yeah,
The first Iron Man trailer, if you watch it, also because it's 12 years old, is not good either.
Well, there you go.
But I want to watch Iron Man
formula.
now.
They've learned the formula. Anyway, Arjuna was WW8, which by the way, I kept thinking World War 84, but was
Which it kind of works. I mean, kind of how the movie goes at the end. It kind of works.
yeah, World War 84. Arjuna, was Wonder Woman 84 good?
No,
Surprise.
it wasn't.
I'm shocked actually.
Ravi, was Wonder Woman 1984 worse than Tenet?
Ooh.
Yes. No. Wait. Fuck.
You just tripped him back. Have fun.
No. Wonder Woman 84 was not good. Blue Monday cover, amazing. Use of Sunshine, good job.
Didn't ask you that. I asked you, was it better than Tenet or worse? Than
Oh
Tenet?
God, I'm too hungover for this.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna
That's
say-
tricky.
I'm gonna say it was worse than Tenet.
There were elements I liked in both movies, so I don't know if one's better or worse than the other. They both didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah.
But
I'll say this. It's Warner Brothers' plans for 2021 with same day HBO Max release. It's going to be interesting because I think we are going to be critiquing movies a little bit differently. Like Courtney said it best. You go, you see it in theaters, everyone is shutting the fuck up while
Well,
you're watching it.
well,
You're
for
not
the most part.
you're not pausing it and looking at your brothers and saying, "Does anyone else fucking hate this?"
Or yeah.
though you did do that when we saw Justice League.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I tried to leave the theater when we saw Justice League.
Also true. Also true.
yeah.
Justice League was trash, so that makes sense.
Courtney, thank you again for joining us. Where can viewers find you, and what would you like to plug?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, all that as Courtney McNerdy. And you can also find me on my own podcast, Nerdin' Out. We're on, iTunes, wherever. Nerdinoutpodcast.com. You can pick your favorite place to listen to us.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
And as always, you can find us on Twitter at Was It Good, on Instagram, Was It Good BTM. We also live stream these podcasts Mondays and Fridays on twitch.tv/Was It Good. I'm going to go drink some water. My head is going to explode. Pretty sure.
Put some electrolytes
This
in
is the end.
Put some salt in it. And potassium.
Sweet.
All right.
All righty. Before we get out of here, we did have a contest,
Yes.
and we did have a winner.
Yes.
And the winner
drum roll, please.
is... What are we giving away?
That pop over there.
We're giving that pop over there away. You can't see it, but it's over
We
there.
just have to take your word for it, huh?
Yes, there's a pop over there. No, that's a toolkit.
You guys are super prepared, huh?
Very prepared. So the winner is going to be at Mary_Mc Macaroni? Macaroni?
I think it's macaroni.
Man, these Instagram handles and Twitter handles are just wild, man. Oh my god.
That sounds like someone's name, so I don't know how wild it really is.
Oh
or
shit,
if you're
that could be someone's name.
Wow, Rafi. Wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Whoopsie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Well,
We are still streaming.
Yeah, we are definitely.
You're
Courtney,
still-
we got a couple of people on Twitch that know you. Someone
Yeah.
just said Kai Medi. I'm so terrible at the fucking names.
Kai
here.
Medal?
Kai Medal?
Yeah, Kai Medal or Kai Medi. I know her.
Yeah, somebody
Oh.
knows you.
Oh.
She knows you, or they know you. Sorry.
Yeah, we went to college together.
Oh, nice.
Shout out. Very nice.
Oh.
And then Big Shocker, I think, was here because of you too. I think they said it off the top. Yeah, Big Shocker. First comment. Hey guys, Courtney got me here. So, thank you for all the comments.
Fun. Thanks, guys. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. So there it is.
Hey,
So when does Wonder Woman
So you come
85
here
come
often,
out,
then?
huh?
Oh God.
5? Oh my God.
85. 85.
Oh, 85.
Yeah.
That's Wonder Woman 5. I was like, Jesus.
Oh, actually, I got a quick question. What is the next? What's the next WB release? What's the next movie that's
Isn't
going
it
to be?
that Denzel movie?
Oh, is it? Ooh, interesting.
So-
No, that was a Netflix movie. No, that's an Amazon Prime movie.
No, I think that's a HBO Max Warner Brother movie.
The one with Jared Leto?
I think so.
Hold on. I will Google this. I have the power.
Wow, interesting. Because that's what it's going to be. What, like 20-something movies?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's a big one.
Wait,
Yeah,
Mortal
Christian-
Kombat movie?
There's a Mortal Kombat movie coming out, yeah.
Wow.
There's
Godzilla
also...
vs. Kong is May. The Conjuring is June. Oh, In the Heights is June too. I'm excited for that one.
Nice.
So it's called The Little Things. Comes out January 29th.
Yeah, but what platform?
And...
The anticipation.
I know. IMDb does not make things easy.
What are there? Oh man.
It's called The Little Things, right?
Yeah, The Little Things.
Movie releases.
Plays a deputy sheriff who's sent to Los Angeles on an evidence gathering assignment only to become embroiled in the search for a serial killer who's terrorizing the city.
Ooh.
So it is Warner Bros. Arjuna is
Yep.
correct, yeah. So that would be the next one.
I think that's the next big one.
I mean, Jared Leto plays obviously some creeper in that, and I mean I don't know if you've seen the trailer, Courtney, but it is probably one of the more interesting trailers out there to show kind of like a crime drama. So
It's got a great cast too. You got
Yeah.
Denzel, you got Rami Malek, you got Jared Leto. Well, I don't know if Jared Leto's great, but
he's
the
amazing.
first two are great.
He
He's
can be
he's
if he wants to be.
amazing.
He was great. He was good in Lord of War and in Requiem for a Dream.
And as the Joker.
Two movies from 20
What?
years ago.
Jared Leto?
Yeah, with that laugh.
Guys, he's going to be in the Snyder Cut.
Are you a troll? Are you a troll? You're trolling. You are trolling us.
He's good, right?
No, he's fucking terrible. He's
Oh, thank God.
worse than that.
Thank God.
I don't know what it is.
Escape Room 2.
There's an Escape Room 1?
Yes.
Wait, is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and, or am I thinking a different movie?
No, I think you're thinking. Wait, Escape Room.
That's like the prison one.
Yeah, with Arnold and Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's the.
They did come out with like 3 sequels to that.
They
Did they?
Yeah, but I think the last 2 were all direct to DVD. One of them was like shot in 4 days. I remember
Wow.
that.
And that's with both of them, or like
No,
other-
Schwarzenegger dropped out after the first one.
Oh, then I don't care.
I think the other ones have Dave Bautista and Sylvester Stallone.
Nice.
Is it again about him in the prison?
Yes.
Of course.
I think it's called The Escape Plan.
The Escape Plan? Is that with a little kid?
No.
All right, I think we're good. We can end this because I am dying.
Say goodbye.
Can I go back to bed now?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Let's crawl back into our holes.
Oh my god. Thank you again, Courtney. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
For having me.